Good morning, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. So I've had a question about cutting and how to get your piece of fabric, how to get it to turn out. See how it goes from the bottom, the top, and it overlaps? That's what you want to do when you cut fabric. You never want your ruler smaller than your fabric, all right? You're going for accuracy, and that's the main thing you're doing now. The first thing you do is you take your fabric, and I'm going to show you both ends of my fabric. Now this is not bought from a kit, this is just me buying it. If you have your options, don't take this off. This is the information if you want to buy more fabric. Go to the other end and do it. You know, this is not that big of a piece. This is just a scratch piece. I'm still putting a weight on it, which is an advantage. Even though this is a grip, it's not moving at all unless I really push it. Okay? So the first thing that you want to do, this has already been cut. So even if yours hasn't been cut and you're trying to line it up, you're trying to take off the selvage. Move it down here, and this is what I'm going to do. Because when you cut this, you're going to use that as your straight line. So you take it and cut it off. Now you know for a fact you have one end that is cut straight. If you need, and I'm going to look to see if I've got it straight or not. And actually that's cut straight too. I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I'm going to do, I've already cut this end off. Now's where I'm going to go and cut 7 inches. Now these are both the same kind of rulers. Because I'm going to use this one to cut with. I'm going to use this one to measure with. This is big enough because it's 8. I take it this way. And since this is my straighter grain right now, so this is what it looks like. I still got it right there. So I put my ruler right there. I take this small ruler right here and I go up to the edge of my fabric to make sure on this right hand side I've still got that fabric peeking out, and I take it all the way down here to make sure I still have that fabric sticking out. It is not sticking out, so that means, bring you over here so I can show you, it's not sticking out here, so that means I need to move it this way, the bottom of this ruler. So I barely move it. And now I see that fabric sticking out. Then I go back up here, making sure the entire time that that fabric is still sticking out. Back it up a little bit more. It still is. I can still see it. I can still see it all the way to the end. That's what I've done. I have made sure that the whole entire length of it is out a little bit. And now I cut it. Let me back it up here so you can see. While I push down on the left here, I slowly cut my fabric. Now, I know that this direction is the 7 inches. Now, I'm going to repeat the process, but the first thing I do, I need to make sure that this is straight. Now, I take this and I line it up on this straight edge, which I just cut both of these. So either the top or the bottom. See how I've lined this up? Now I try to put this right on the edge of the black, all the way across. Lining it up, I take it all the way here to the end because I just want a little piece of it off. On here, I'm still got it right here on the very edge of that black. And I'm doing all 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these little black lines, trying to get them all even. And then when you cut that off, you know that you have it straight on 3 sides. And just take your time, and you're pushing down on the left-hand side of your ruler because you don't want that to move. We turn it. So now that we know we have this side, and this side all done correctly, we're going to put our ruler again on that 7. And remember what we're looking for. We're looking for it to be sticking out. See how it's sticking out there? You can barely see it. You're looking for the number 7. We take our other ruler, put it down. I need to put this camera down now because I don't want it to butt it and move it. So I'm holding on to the small one on the right side, push this one up here, put my weight on there. And I really don't need to slide it because I already know it's on there. And we want to cut it. Just like that. On there, and it's 7 by 7, just like that. There's another way that you can do this, but the principle is the same. About I have my weight on the end over there. I'm going to go over here on top of it now, since we're going to go for a second piece, because we already know that both these ends are straight. Now we're going to compare them to see if they really are straight with each other. And it is straight right there. Okay, so now I'm going to go N7, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm overlapping it just like before so that I can see it, which you can see right there, right here. And remember now, I'm going to go up and down to make sure. And now I've already lost it on this edge, so we're going to move it over. As a matter of fact, and I did that, well, here we go. Let's get our 7. We need to go over a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Let's come down this end here. And it stayed. I can see it right here, right on the edge. Make sure it all, yep. I need to go a little bit more that way. Alrighty, put my weight on here. Cut this. Now we're going to turn it. I'm going, and here's where I'm looking at the, down here now, we're looking at this straight of grain. So I can see these 4 lines right here, and I'm going to come over to the edge, and it's off a little bit. Let's see, how off is it? Just a little bit, so we're going to cut that. Okay. And now we're going to do that edge right there. Go up a little bit. Down. I lost it on the down again. Okay, that's correct. And then we cut it. That's how we get both pieces. Let's measure it. Let's back it up here. So we have 7, and it looks like it's right on the line now. And we have 7. And so now we actually have 2 pieces that are identically 7 inches. Now, let's pretend, because now you know how to sew these together. You put your right sides together. If you're new, then you're going to want to mark your fabric. You're either going to mark it with a friction pen or you're going to mark it with a pencil. It doesn't make any difference if you're trying to get your 1/4 inch. All right. Now I'm going to use this piece here, and we're going to act like we cut it a little bit too short. I'm going to take off an 1/8 so that it will not match up on this end here. Okay, back it up here so you can see the hole. Now here's how we know that we didn't get it. Let's turn it this way here. So you can see that it's not actually 7 on both sides. Okay? See how it's off here? Now, if you're sewing them together, and this works on anything, so it can be a rectangle you're doing, it could be, doesn't make any difference. All right, I have it even on the top, the bottom, the right, and the left is the one in question. So normally, you'd be looking at the pink here. I'm going to kind of line it up on my board here. Okay. And you would be, if you were marking it, you're going to do 1/4 inch. Let's go to the 1/4 inch here, which on this ruler, the part that is shaded is the 1/4 inch. So that's an easy way to mark it. And you're putting it on the line of your pink. Now, because we cut this with a little bit hanging, you can get it right on that line. That's going to be fine. Or you can put it to the left of the line so that your line is right on the edge of the fabric. And then I'm going to show you when I mark it. I'm going to mark this top part right here so that you can see what you're going to have for your seam. Now keep in mind, you can use a pencil. That's what we used to use before they had the friction pins and everything else. Because when you sew on this line, the pencil, the lead is gone. Now they even have pencils that you could just turn around and erase that right off your fabric. Okay? So let me show it to you. That's what you're looking at. So this seam is going to be shorter than that seam. And now you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in a panic. Well, wait a minute. Don't panic yet. Now you have choices. This is where you need to be the judge because you're the one sewing it. You're the one either gifting it or you're keeping it. You can leave it like this and not worry about it because you're either going to iron this towards the side that has the least fabric, or you're going to iron it the other direction, or you're going to iron it totally open. When you go to quilt it, let's say you quilt in the ditch. If you quilt in the ditch, you're going to catch this. You don't have to worry about this seam coming out. Now, when this happens, and it's happened to me before, instead of just sewing it one time, I sew it 2 times. It reinforces that seam because there's such a small amount of fabric. Now, if you can't stand the thought of you've gypped yourself, don't worry about it. This is what you can do. I got a couple of different products here. This is one, okay, it's kind of a rough type, but you can put it on top right here so that it goes over the right-hand side of your line, okay, and you can sew that on, which now it has extended your fabric, and then all you have to do is just trim this edge off, okay? Or, if you don't want to use that, just use one. You've probably seen this at the store. Batting and seam tape. This is what you use when you want to take 2 pieces of batting, butt them up together, and stitch them so that you have a bigger piece of batting. And you've seen me use this if you've seen some of my videos. And this is fusible, so it's, I don't know if you could see how it's kind of shiny. This is the side that's got the glue, and then this doesn't. And you can lay it on there, and you can cut a piece. You can lay it like that, cut it with your rotary cutter, go ahead and actually glue it down. Then it's held these 2 pieces together. Then you're only going to be able to take it to the right or take it to the left. You can't open your seam or anything because once you've glued it to the other side. That's a disadvantage of this. Or if you want to use Wonder Tape, and I have a package open, I use this all the time. And this too has sticky on this side, and all you would do, and now you can't open it either, is lay it right on top that, and this washes real well. Lay it on top, And then you're going to sew right down that line. You redo your 1/4 inch, and then what you do is you tear off the edge, and it would adhere to itself. But if it was my choice for this little bit here, I would leave it and just double stitch it. Otherwise, I would either do, if I wanted to open it, if this is one of those projects where I'm opening all my seams, I would use this right here. And again, that is that's sold by Dritz. You can get it at your favorite quilt shop. You can get it online because Dritz has a company online, or you can get it at Joann's. I think you probably get it at Walmart. Now, this is super duper old. You can tell that by the price. I don't use it that often, and it goes a long way. Okay? I mean, let's see. It's washable. It's dry cleanable. And this was 20 yards when it started out. So that is what you do. And that's it. It's helped anybody that's run across this problem. And if you've got any questions, by all means, just let me know. All right? Till next time. Bye-bye, everybody.